What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another Open Play Esports session here at Black Rocket. Today we are going to be playing Sembly, but of course, before we do get into the gaming, before we get into Sembly, I do just want to mention that our enrollment is up, so you guys can register for classes right now. It opened up on May 1st, so you guys have plenty of time to still sign up for those June classes. I believe currently they are online, so we are taking precautions. We are staying safe. So make sure that if you are interested, you do look into that. And then we also have the blackrocket.com/online where we have the virtual open houses, which again, we got the virtual open houses on the YouTube page because they already finished up. We got the open play sessions, and then we have the online learning live coaches, self-guided VR Quest, teacher coaching sessions. Those are the sampler courses. And then the VR Quest, of course, is the work at your own pace kind of VR code spaces. If you did take code spaces, it's a little bit different. Just the material, however, the stuff you are doing is very similar. So it's super fun. And again, it's at your own pace. So that's going to be it for blackrocket.com/online. And remember to check out the YouTube channel since you are already there. So now we are going to get into Sembly. We're going to first look at blackrocket.com/esports, where you have Sembly and Battle Royale. And then all you have to do to play Sembly is just you press that play now button, and that's going to take you to this page, which is blackrocket.com/Sembly. And it will load. It loads in your browser. You can play it in your browser. It's super duper easy to get everything set up. And then once you do get that, you will be good to go. So we do have some matches for you guys. I will get this set up for you in just 1 second. Here we go. And I will get a room code for you guys as well. So the first room code is going to be KTUA. Again, I am going to switch over to the nice full screen view because we will get some gameplay going for you guys. And we do got some gameplay. We do have, I believe this is going to be a gem race. So our first game is going to be gem race. And as you see, we do got the bat, the moving block, the falling block, spike, disappearing block. And then our other players choosing the crusher cannon, the little spike ball cannon, and then the moving and disappearing. So we do have two similarities, and a lot of players are also picking, both the players are picking some aggressive options with the bat, spike ball, and the crusher. So that's pretty interesting. Last time we played on Monday, I believe we did not have too many aggressive options. A lot of people were just kind of picking the stationary blocks or the moving block, but not really anything that could send you back. But again, as I did mention, we do have some more aggressive options coming in today. We are playing Sidewalk Hustle. So Sidewalk Hustle is a pretty one-sided. It could end up in a really one-sided map depending on where these gems spawn. So actually, I do remember on Monday, we did have a player who was really using a lot of cannons, and they may be back for a vengeance right here. I'm not sure if they were able to get a win. However, I do remember that they were very close a couple times. So if they didn't get a win, they could get one today because they were doing a really good job on Monday. It is a kind of different strategy, kind of putting those cannons there to stall people out, especially when you do kind of put them in the middle. You kind of are forcing people to go into them. So that could either hurt or help you. And it could go both ways. It could hurt or help the player who puts them down as well. Because again, with Gem Race, you guys are on the same map. So you're building on the same map. So your items are going to be there. The other player's items are going to be there. And again, you can use your hammer on your own items in Gem Race. That's not the case in normal. In normal, you could only use them on the opposing player's items. And those are also on separate maps as well. So you play two maps in normal. However, in this Gem Race, you are able to use your hammer on any item that you so choose. I believe you can only use it up to 3 times. And it doesn't clear for the opponent. It only clears it for yourself. So it does get interesting, especially when you do see the spike blocks kind of get used. I mean, not the spike blocks, the lock blocks get used to block off certain gems and such. However, we do have a lot of congestion in the middle part of the map and maybe even towards the front section. And then we got kind of nothing going on in the back here. So if our players are able to make it down there, they better hope the next gem does spawn there, because it's going to take a lot of work to get there. It may even take more than 30 seconds. So depending on where the gems do spawn in, you're going to have to be very, very careful. So we do get the little spectator glitch where we don't really know where that first gem is. And however, we do get, we will see where the next one gets in. So we do see both players trying to make their way over to the right. Looks like that bat did send one of our players back to the beginning. Ooh, and the crusher now coming in as well. So now we have, I believe, player 2 gets the first gem. So player 2 was able to grab that first gem. Second gem spawning in very, very close. It looks like player 2 may have broken that the cannon. Oh, they did not, because they did get sent back to the beginning. Oh, yeah. So both players now at the beginning, looking for their second gem each. However, it is going to be a long way away. So that may honestly respawn at some point. I'm not sure how long it's been sitting there so far, but player 1 using the cannons to their advantage. Ooh, but then gets hit by these spiky balls. So now it does look like this gem is going to respawn, and it does respawn. However, it still is a long ways away. However, player 1, ooh, kind of rushing things right here, and that could either hurt or help them. It looks like they were in a cannon in a good spot to kind of just make their way slowly across to get that gem. But now they are kind of stalled for time right now. Not really sure what they're doing. Not sure what their game plan is right here. They may look a little confused. Ooh, player 2 just got a really big boost right there. And now the next gem spawned in very, very close. Ooh, they were able to get past the cannon. So now they get their second gem. Player 1 still only on 1. Next gem spawns very close to the beginning. Players should be hitting R for the tactical reset, and they both do at the same time. However, player 1 is able to grab the gem, and the next one spawns very, very close. We are in the tiebreaker zone. So is that going to be our gem? Is that going to be our tiebreaker gem? It looks like it is super duper close. It's a race to the finish line right here. You could use your hammer. However, it does look like our players are getting stuck. Player 1 looks like they're playing it safe. However, they do get hit by the bat. Only 15 seconds left. Let's see if anyone is able to get there in time. Both players now doing the same strategy. It looks like they both get hit by the bat again. I'm not sure if there's going to be time. They may have to try to get through the moving spike blocks. Actually, the gem respawned. And this game is going to actually end in a tie. So both players not able to get that gem right there. Both players not able to get the tiebreaker gem. Player 1 able to come in clutch, get that final gem, the regular gem, to tie it and send it to the tiebreaker. However, both players coming close, but not close enough to that tiebreaker gem. So shout out to both of our players. Both of them fought very hard, because again, that was a tie, so they were very evenly matched. And we are going to get another room code for you guys. So we will get another room code for you guys pretty shortly. We're just waiting on someone to make a room. And again, if you guys do want to, you can always feel free to make your own rooms, and we will hop in. The room code is going to be CLLQ. And we are going to wait for another player to join this room. We are in there. There's already one player in there. So if you are watching, if you are interested in playing, make sure you press play, private, join, and then type in the room code. But we do have a fast match going on for you guys. Someone did join. But I do want to mention that when we do play the normal and when we do play gem race, If you guys aren't able to get in, you could also vote on the different events that happen and the final item in normal. All you have to do is go to spectate, vote, type in the room code as well. So if you don't make it in, if you're not one of the lucky people who do get in, you can still participate by voting on the events. So here we do have fast, and with fast, you kind of just put down your own blocks. You play both maps. Both players going for a similar approach, but with different blocks. They kind of just spam them down. So you have one map with all sticky blocks, and we have one map with all ice blocks. So we are going to play the sticky block map first. I believe this is going to be player one's map. We do have player one is silver, player two is going to be green. And both players are struggling right now, trying to make their way. Oh, it looks like player two was able to grab the gem about a millisecond before player one was able to get there. Looks like player one did overshoot the jump on the sticky block because, again, it is a little bit tough to get past the sticky blocks. It is a little bit tough to hit the wall jumps. You usually do end up overshooting it a little bit. However, now we do have player one. Looks like they are going to be able to grab that gem, and they do. They may have actually grabbed the first gem as well. It's a little bit tough to tell. It does look like they both grabbed the gem at the same time, and then they did get that next one on the second map. However, it didn't look like the points showed up for me, or I just didn't even see it. That's a possibility too. However, it did look like player two did sneak their way in there on that first map, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't show up that player one got points. However, they did obviously get those points. So again, we got another room code for you guys. The room code is going to be UEBQ. So UEBQ is going to be the room code. So again, if you guys do want to join, just make sure you go to play, private, join, and then type in the room code UEBQ. And then once you do get in, we will start. So again, this looks like it is going to be a normal game. So the first normal game of the day. So far, we have played Gem Race and a Fast Match. So again, normal works by both players pick two items, and then the fifth one is randomly selected based on the votes that it gets. Doesn't get any votes; it does just randomly select it. However, you can vote on that final item if you do go to spectate vote, type in the room code UEBQ, and you will be able to vote. But both players do select two items, but they do have access to all five. So you kind of have to make use of what your opponent gives you as well, because you can't really make a good map with only two items. You really do need kind of the full five to kind of put some mix-ups in there. Because if one player is just kind of avoiding bats the whole time, they should be able to do that easily. But throw in a couple disappearing blocks with those bats, and then you got a real problem. And then if you throw in some vacuums or fans too, come on. But you do kind of want to make use of everything. You don't really want to leave anything hanging. You don't really want to kind of not use an item, because if the items are there, they do all have their own kind of use for them. So we do have the cannon here. I'm wondering if this is going to be that same player too that has been here using those cannons. But on a map like this, it does get pretty interesting with the cannons, because a good setup that you can have is kind of putting them in at these corners right here. So when you put them in at the corners right there, you either have to hit like a really nasty jump in order to avoid the cannon. But if you do end up going into the cannon, you actually kind of get stalled out, because it is going to, again, spin around. It doesn't just kind of pop you out one side. They do spin around. So by them spinning around, they do kind of stall you for time, because if it's already down here, you kind of have to wait for it to go all the way around. So again, that could help, could hurt. But I do know one thing, and that is going to be that you are able to break the other opponent's blocks. So if if player one, let's say, put a cannon down, player two could break it, but player one may get stuck in it. So again, there are some kind of tricky strategies going on here. I do like this. I do like that. I want to know who that is. That is player one. Player one set up a 3-layer lock block, because again, you can break those blocks. So We have seen in the past some people only make one layer of a lock block and then they can't break it on their map. But the other player can break it. So it just kind of gives the other player an advantage. But when you do throw kind of 3 blocks right there, it does kind of just block it off. And it's also sort of in an area where I don't even know if you would call it a shortcut, because the gem is right there. So you could kind of get that gem by going on the outside right here. And then to get this gem, which is also on the lower level, you can kind of just drop down and then go back up. And then the reverse way, if you get this gem first, you could kind of just go back. But I would say the way that I would do this map, as we are going to look at both players. So this is going to be player 2's map, a lot of moving blocks and a lot of robots. And then player 1's map with a lot of lock blocks. So I would say the best way to go about this map is to kind of go up, grab this first gem here, go all the way across, get this gem, drop down, get this gem, get that gem, go back to the beginning. Just because, well, you may end up wanting to get this one first, but the lower levels connect and the top levels connect. You always are going to have to go around the outside. Because again, if you do want to say get from this corner to this corner without going on the outside, you're going to have to go through basically this yellow to orange part, which is kind of just going to waste a lot of time. So you do just kind of want to play the outsides. And even though it does kind of seem like it is going to waste time, it really doesn't. It really does kind of help you out. So we are going to get into the maps right now. I believe player 1's map is the one with all those locks. So we are going to see what happens here. So you got player 1 is blue, player 2 is green. You got player 1 coming off to a quick start. Player 2 looks like they took a little break right there. Not sure what happened, but they should be able to grab their first gem right there, and they do. So they are able to grab the gem. They're not behind too much. If they do grab the next gem quickly, then they should be good to go. They could have opened up a lane to get to the gem at the bottom, because I do believe you do get 3 hammers, so you are able to break blocks 3 times. Looks like player 2 is getting a little bit caught up right here. They should have probably just taken the outside route, because they did not get a key. So player 1 on pace 2. I'm not sure what the last one they are missing is. Oh, so they are able to get that last gem. They do a full circle around the map, and they should be able to finish it off right here by kind of just taking that low road, taking the inside route, and getting that big gem. So they're not grabbing the gem. I have no idea what they are doing. But that last gem is right below them. So they can grab it. I'm not sure if they know that they can grab it. Okay, and they do grab it. So they were kind of taunting, I'd say that was. But they do grab that gem at the last second. So now we are on player 2's map. So player 2 could make the big comeback on their own map. Looks like they do know what they're doing. They are able to get through that moving block. However, these robots are going to be a tough opponent, especially when you put something like that in the beginning. It could make it very, very frustrating. But even more frustrating is when you get hit by them at the end. So you don't want to get hit by them over here. And now we do have player 2 kind of making some quick work of their map. We're going to get a zoomed out view right here of what we got. So player 2 able to grab 2 gems so far. Player 1 only with the 1. So player 2 is going to have to kind of gain some speed right now. Because again, the time that it takes also matters when it does come to normal. So player 2 gets taken out by a robot towards the end of the map. Looks like they are going to go for the difficult gem. They choose not to. I think their plan is to kind of grab these 2 gems simultaneously. However, they only do have the 30 seconds, and with every second that goes by, they are sort of losing time. So I would kind of just risk it right here and maybe break these robots. Oh, they can't break. It's their map. Never mind. So they're just going to have to kind of skill it, because they are not going to be able to get all the way around to grab those gems. So it does look like player one is going to be able to finish this map off, finish his normal game off, with both players grabbing the same 2 gems. So they were able to grab the same 2 gems. However, player one did perform better on their map. So player one is able to get the victory on the first normal game of the day. And we are going to get another game going for you guys in just a second. So don't go anywhere. So again, if you guys do want to make a room code, if you do want to play with friends, you could always just tell them to get on, and we will probably end up casting that game. So make sure make your own rooms whenever you can. If you can't get into one of these rooms, maybe like wait a little bit and then make a room, and we could hop into it like halfway through or something like that. But we do have a room code. It is going to be DAEF. So if you do want to join, make sure you type in the room code DAEF. And this does look to be another gem race. So gem race, second gem race of the day. First gem race ended in a tie. So I wonder if these are the same 2 players, maybe trying to get a decisive victory. So we do have player 2 picking the fan, the vacuum, the cannon, the flamethrower, and the crusher block, while player 1 going a little bit more passive, I'd say. Well, we don't really know yet, but so far they do have the vacuum and the switch block. We will see what they choose for their next few options. They also choose the fan. So far we have 2 similarities. Usually 2 is really the most you get. Both players usually don't select many of the same items because everyone does have their own preferences when it does come to the items that they like using, especially in gem race, because it is a little bit different than the other maps. So here we have Rat Maze, I believe. And Rat Maze is a pretty tough map for gem race. And the reason being is because even though the map seems pretty compact compared to, say, Sidewalk Hustle or a map like that, it actually is really tough to get to. So if, say, you grab a gem down here, say you grab this gem, and the next one spawns right above it, right here, in order to get that gem, you're either going to have to follow this green path, go around to the orange from the purple in between, go all the way up here, get across here, go down the yellow, and then go back to the top of the green. Of course, the other route you could take is going down, going across the blue, all the way around the blue, all the way around the red, and then jumping up the red, go to the yellow, and then back to the top of the green. So we do see a lot of gems respawning and kind of waiting out that 30-second time limit and then spawning again, because sometimes it's just not feasible to get there. Sometimes it does take more than 30 seconds, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. But a big thing to note is that you can use your tactical reset. You can press R. So again, if a gem does spawn right there, it probably would just be quicker to press R and just go kind of up here, rather than either going around here or just making your way back to the beginning anyways. You could probably just press R. So doing the tactical reset is always going to be a big advantage if you do it correctly. So we are seeing how this map fills out. It doesn't look to be too tough. However, those crusher blocks can put in some work, especially on a map with these corridors like Rat Maze. When you do have something like this, those crusher blocks, if you do miss a wall jump or you do miss something, those can really get to you. So you do got to be careful of those. So you're going to see our players with their different approaches. We got player 1 is blue, player 2 is going to be green. So again, we do get the little bit of a spectator glitch where we can't really find out where that first gem is. So first gem seems to be a mystery gem. Now, it looks like these are operating in tandem with the crusher and the cannon. Because if you get stuck in the cannon, basically you are going to get hit by the crusher. That is actually a very interesting strategy. I'm not sure if that was a combination of the 2 players or if it was a little bit different. But we do have player 2 grabbing the first gem. Looks like they are going to be able to get their second gem. Player 1 stuck in the crusher blocks. Next gem is going to be in that top left corner. If I was player 2, I would just reset. However, they choose not to. They choose to kind of brave the storm and try and get there. However, they were not able to. Now we have that next gem in the top right. That one is going to be a doozy for player 2 to try and get to. So it looks like player 1, if they don't make any mistakes, should be able to snag it. However, it does look like it's going to be tough, especially when you got the vacuum switch and crushers all there. Are able to grab it. They are able to grab it without getting sent back to beginning. And now player 2 should be on pace to grab this gem. If player 1 is able to grab this gem, I'd be very, very impressed. We do get our event, which is far out. Player 2 now looks like they're starting to struggle. Maybe they're trying to go a little too fast. However, it does look like they are able to get there, so they are able to get their third gem. Player 1 now hitting the switch block, able to grab their third gem. So it is going to be all tied up here. Both players only need one more gem. Only 10 seconds left, however, so this may go to tiebreaker as well. Because this is going to go to a tiebreaker because that next gem again is spawned very, very far away. So this is kind of what I mean by maps like this. Very, very tough to get around. So we do have that gem is going to be in the top left corner. Player 2 not taking the right route to get there. Oh, however, it does look like it spawned in a different area. Never mind. So maybe that was just a visual glitch on my end because it looks like player 2 actually did take the correct route if they are able to hit that wall jump, and they do. So player 2 able to grab their fourth gem in the tiebreaker and take home the victory. So again, another very, very tightly contested map right there. Both players sending it to OT. So that's our second OT in gem race that we've had so far today. So again, very close games between both these players. So we will get another room code for you guys. Don't go anywhere. Once we do get this room code, we may put it in the chat, or I'll just say it because it does show up on stream as well after I do type it in. So the room code is going to be IXQR. So if you do want to join, if you do want to play, make sure you type in the room code IXQR. You just go to play, private, join, IXQR, and you will be good to go. So this is going to be a normal game. And when we do have normal, both players select 2 items, and then there's one mystery item at the end that you guys can actually vote on if you want. You just go spectate vote, and then you can vote on the item and the different events that happen throughout the game. Now, both players do select 2 items on their own, and then there is a mystery item. However, they are able to use all 5 items, and they both make their own map. So instead of gem race, where both items, player 1 and player 2's items, are in the same map, normal, there's going to be map 1 where player 1's items are, and then map 2 where player 2's items are. So it's pretty cool to see how both players use the same items in a different way. And then it's also interesting to see how they are able to do on their map compared to the other player. So here we have so far, we have the fan, the lock and key, the flamethrower, the sticky block, and then the final random item is going to be the spring. So we haven't seen the spring today. We also don't really see the spring too much. However, it can definitely help you kind of skip wall jumps. I'd say that's a pretty useful tool. As well as kind of putting them on the wall to prevent wall jumps, and then kind of just sending you or the opponent just kind of straight backwards. So it looks like player 2 so far is going to be going cannon heavy. Player 1 also putting some cannons down at the beginning. So we could, right here we have a view of both players' maps combined. I will leave this up for a little bit, and then we could kind of analyze both players at the end individually. However, I do like having this up because you kind of get to see the mask over of both of the players. So it's just a pretty good overview and a good comparison when we do check out player 1 and player 2, because right now we are looking at the combined of both. However, as you can see up here, both players not really putting on too many items so far. They're both still in the green, only not even a quarter of their bar used up, really. So yeah, so I do believe you get to put down some more items than you do in Gem Race, because again, this is your own map, but it doesn't really get too hectic because players usually have a strategy. They either build directly around the gem or they build in an area and try to cut an area off. So right here, it does look like player 2, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be player 2 is building around the gem. So they basically have all the gems surrounded by flamethrowers. They got some springs in the middle. And then player 1, as you can see, going for a little bit of a different approach, kind of blocking off areas with the lock blocks, or a better term would be helping you get through areas with the lock blocks. So we do see some players do this sometimes, where it's less beneficial to get the key than to not get the key. Sometimes if you don't get the key, you are able to actually bounce off of those locks. So you are able to wall jump off them, and that can definitely make your life a lot easier. Here we do have, it does look like that. Usually players put the key right in the beginning so they could jump over it, and then the other player will accidentally kind of grab the key. However, it does look like here, I believe this is player 1. Player 1 is putting the key a little bit farther away. So if you do take the bait on that, that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one because you're going out of your way to get it, and then it doesn't help you at all. So you do got to be careful of that. And now player 2 here also going for a little bit of a similar thing right here. You don't really need the key to get up here because you can wall jump this. However, the key is going to be all the way down here. So if you do waste your time and get that key, it may not even help you save that much time. Yes, you can kind of go in right there. But I think going down and grabbing the key may take a little bit more time, especially when it's normal and every second does count, because again, there are time bonuses for the gems. You do get more points if you get them in a shorter time. So here we go. Got player 1 as the purple or pink, and then we got player 2 as the green. So player 2 may just have to hit the tactical reset right here by pressing R, because it doesn't look like they're going to be able to wall jump around those flamethrowers. And even if they do, it just seems like a daunting task. So they may need to hit R, and they do. It does look like they do, but they do fly off again, so they have to hit R again. But here we have player 1 grabbing 2 gems so far, able to grab the gems over on the right side of the map. Not sure if they grabbed that key. I believe they did grab the key in order to get the yellow, but now they kind of have a plan. Looks like they're going to grab the top left and then go for the bottom right. Player 2 taking the outside, so I do like this because they're kind of taking a different approach, maybe trying to maximize the amount of gems that they get here because they are able to get that key. Did they get the key? I hope they got the key. So they were not able to get the key. Maybe they did not see the key, but it was stuck in those toxic barrels. So if player 2 did grab the key right there, they probably would have been able to get at least one more gem, maybe even those 2 gems, before player 1 was able to grab the big gem. So very unfortunate that player 2 did not see that. However, it was a little bit tough to see because the key was yellow and it was behind the yellow toxic barrel. So smart strategy coming in from player 1, and we are going to get into player 2's map now. So player 2's map not offering too much resistance besides the flamethrowers. So again, you kind of just don't want to make any mistakes. You want to be patient with the flamethrowers. You want to make sure you don't really get hit by anything. Player 2 does actually fall victim to their flamethrower. Player 1 playing it a little bit safer, taking their sweet time to kind of do everything right here. Because again, they don't really want to get sent back to the beginning. Because again, if you rush it and you keep getting sent back to the beginning, you're just going to fall behind. So we do have player 1 grabbing 2 gems so far. Player 2 was able to grab the gem up in the top left corner. Now looks like they are on pace, but again, by rushing it, they do miss a jump, which does set them on fire. So player 1 again showing that slow and steady wins the race right here. Because again, player 2 has been sent back multiple times at this point. With player 1, I don't think was hit at all. So now we have a rotate. So that could be tough for player 1 to kind of get around these flamethrowers right here. Looks like they mistimed their jump or just jumped a little bit too far. However, they are now able to get that gem. And now it looks like they're trying to hit the wall jump to cap it off, which they do. So player 1 was able to grab the big gem on both maps. Player 2, I believe, was able to grab 2 gems on each map, maybe 2 gems on each map. Could have made it a lot closer if they did see the key on the first map. And again, if they did play it a little bit slower around those flamethrowers because they were really starting to get to them. So we are going to get one more map in for you guys. This is going to be the final game of the day. And we are going to try to get a gem race going too, because the gem races have been the most intense so far. And once I do get a room code for you guys, I will shoot that out there. So it is going to be ITFJ as the room code. So again, if you guys do want to play private join, ITFJ gem race. Boom. So we have player 2 selecting all of their blocks very, very quickly. We have the ice block, the sticky block, the switch, the moving, and the disappearing. So they are going very, very passive. They're not really picking anything too aggressive. Probably the most aggressive thing is the moving block. But I also do think the sticky block is kind of underrated or maybe just underestimated, because if you do get on the sticky block and you try to jump off of it, you kind of do go flying in like a line. It's really hard to get like a good angle off the sticky block. So player 1 basically picking all the same items, except instead for the ice block, they pick the spike block. So there is going to be one thing that can send you back to the beginning, and that could play a very, very, very vital role in how this map goes. So player 2 looks like they just kind of held down their mouse and are putting these blocks down. So that's an interesting strategy. But again, with gem race, you don't know where these gems are going to spawn. So if they are able to play around their blocks, they could end up victor here. They could end up getting the gems by not kind of doing anything aggressive. Like if they held down mouse 1 and or left click and kind of just spam the spikes, that could really hurt. That could block you off. That could do a lot of different things. However, it doesn't really look like they blocked any angle off too much here. So this is going to be pretty nice, pretty cool to see if this does work out for them. And then we do have player 1. It looks like being a little bit more meticulous, putting the switch blocks down at the bottom with a couple sticky blocks and some moving blocks as well. Player 2's items are, again, a little bit more focused towards the middle, because, again, it kind of looks like they just wagged their mouse around the map. But, again, we will see how that, if that helps or hurts them. And we do have about 40 seconds left, so we are winding down on this build phase right here. And we are just going to kind of monitor. Let's just look at player 1, see what they're doing, because we do see player 2 here with the kind of random Discord going on. But then we do got player 1 doing a little bit, trying to be a little bit more meticulous with it. Looks like they attached a sticky block to a moving block. We'll see how that works out. I haven't really seen that happen. However, I do imagine it could be pretty frustrating if you land on that sticky block and then the moving block starts taking you with it. But then we do see they're hiding a lot of gems behind the switch blocks. Doesn't really do anything except stall for time. However, a lot of players do get through switch blocks at different paces. Some of them get through it very quickly. Some of them it takes a longer time. So we are going to see how this map plays out. Again, we do got that little bit of a spectator glitch. Can't really find out which gem is the one. However, it does look like it's going to be that one right there. So again, player one is struggling a little bit. However, they are able to kind of get that gem, and now we do see the next gem is in the top right. Player two has a pretty big advantage because they were a little bit more outside of that corridor. Player one was kind of stuck in it after they got that gem. And then, of course, the switch blocks reset. So now we do have player two. Looks like they either landed on a spike or went for a tactical reset, but I think it helped them regardless, just because it did get them a little bit closer to the gem. Struggling a little bit with the switch block right there. They do fall all the way down, so they do reset. Player one looks like they are followed. So again, player two kind of, yeah, so they were able to get around finally. However, the gem did move, so it's going to be in the bottom right side of the map. So both of our players looks like they are struggling. Player one, I'm not sure if they made that trap. However, it does seem to be hurting them now with that moving sticky block. So we are going to see if anyone's able to grab this gem, and that gem actually respawns as well. So the next gem is going to be in the middle top. Looks like our player did hit the tactical reset, so they should be good to go. So player two does grab that gem, and now they are kind of on pace to get the next gem as well. They could break those ice blocks. Looks like they are going to decide not to. Player one maybe, just gets there just on time. And now we do have that next gem in the top right corner in the yellow. We are going to see if our players are going to be able to get it. Oh, it looks like the sticky block did, again, as I mentioned, really, really hard to get around using that sticky block. So we do have the gem up there. However, I believe it does respawn pretty quickly. So we're going to see who's able to get this one. And the gem does respawn. It is going to be all the way at the bottom right there. I don't think anyone's going to have enough time to get it. And this one may end in another tie unless player two is able to get there. Oh, they get stuck on the sticky block. And then player one, both players fall down. So we do end up on a tie. That was the second tie of the day for our final game, ending it in a pretty dramatic fashion with both players not able to grab that final gem. Again, it does get a little tough because the gem does respawn, considering, I got the ice block, everyone. Considering the fact that the time carries over from regulation. So say that gem was up there for 15 seconds, it's only going to last 15 seconds in overtime. Or that's one case. It could also be that they only do last 15 seconds in overtime. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to fact check that one with the devs later on. However, that is going to be the last game of the day. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. If you do want, you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to have some videos up there. We're going to have some videos about classes and some cool stuff up there for you guys to learn, and even some fun videos because everyone likes to have fun. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. I think, I'm not 100% sure. I may not be here tomorrow, but Gus may be here. So make sure you do stay tuned for that if you do want to see the return of Gus. And I will be back with you guys on Friday. So I'll see you guys then. And until now, everyone have a great day. And I will see you guys later. Bye.